Hello, Bagby Barracudas. I am very happy to be doing an art project with you today. I'm going to show you a fun little project where we are going to make some animals, your choice of animal, out of a special kind of clay called Model Magic. And this clay is soft when you take it out of the package, and it gets hard once it's left to dry. So here are some examples of animals that have been made by Bagby students in the past. Let's start with this one. We have a fish. And one of the things I want you to notice when you look at these animals is some of the animals have a basic shape. This fish is nice and flat. In fact, he sits all the way down here. He's flat. He's got a couple triangles for fins. He's got another one up here. He also has some texture lines to make him have his scales, and he's got a little smiley. We have, here's one of my favorites. This guy here is an imaginary animal, I'm guessing, because he's just got one eye, but he's got antenna. Maybe he's maybe a cartoon snail. He's got a little bit of a spiral in his body, and he's got some dots. And I like the fact that he's got one eye. It's kind of fun, right? We've got this guy. We have a turtle, and this poor turtle, he's missing an arm. He's kind of old. He's been at Bagby for a long time. But you'll notice that he's got an oval-shaped body, and he's got the little legs, little short legs. And he's got his two eyes here, and he had his little tail is broken off too. But he also has some texture, a pattern on his back for his turtle shell. We also have this guy. He's one of my favorites. He is, notice his body is kind of egg-shaped. It's a little bit longer, so it's not a perfect circle. He's got some short little legs, and they're flat on the bottom, so they stand. And he has some cute little ears and some big eyes and a little curved pattern on his back that makes me think that he is a sheep. Little white sheep. And on the back here, he's got a little bit of a tail, a little fuzzy tail. So there's this guy. Today, I'm going to show you how to make an octopus. So this guy is made out of long bits and a circle, right? So he's got a circle body, and we know he's an octopus because he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs, right? And let's see, last but not least, let's show you this penguin. He's got two colors of clay, and he's got a tall body, and he's got flat flippers, and he is got his little egg here at his feet that he's protecting. And it looks to me like he's got a little beak there too. Okay, one more. Here's another one that has some good texture. This little alligator here, he's got a curve in his tail. He's got short little legs. He's got a very long body, and he has a triangle-shaped mouth. And if you can see, he has, it almost looks like someone used their nail to make the scales on his skin, which is pretty neat looking. Okay, all right, there's some examples. Got a little owl here. He's got pointy ears. This, I think, maybe is a mouse. He looks like he's got some imaginary features also. And he's got some texture. He's got some dots on him, which is kind of fun. So there are a bunch of choices of examples of animals that you can make. And what I like to do is show you how to do your own by giving you a couple examples. So in your school supplies, you should have an envelope that looks like this. It will have a sticker on top, and it will say Bagby Barracuda Art. Inside your envelope, you are going to find a piece of wax paper like this. I've got mine right here. You will also find two packets of Model Magic clay. I have a picture because all of the packets went into your school supplies. But you're going to have two packets like this. And you're going to need to open them up, and you'll have two bits. We're going to squish them together. So I'll show you how to do that. Then you're going to have a bag, and inside your bag you will have some googly eyes. And you should have a couple choices in size of googly eyes. So we got bigger ones and we got two smaller ones. And it just depends on what size animal you end up making or what kind of eyes you think they need to have. You got a couple choices there, okay? And finally, inside you should have some pipe cleaners or some fuzzy wires, and we can use these to make ears if we want, right? Or we could use them to make a tail, right? Maybe we can use them to make a curly tail and something like that. So we'll see how we can think of a way to use those. So in your packet, you should have clay that is about, you're gonna get 2 pieces, and it's gonna look like this when you open these packets. So you're gonna open up your packets, you're gonna have 2 pieces like this, and you're gonna squish them together. Lots of squishing. Make into one big piece. And so, I have white, but you might have blue or yellow or red or white. And it doesn't matter what color it is. Our goal today is to make an animal with the shape of the animal that we're making. The color doesn't need to match. We just want to make sure that when we finish making it, so that someone can guess, what kind of animal is that? Is that a real animal? Is that an animal with 4 legs or long arms? Or is it an animal with fins, or a long body, or a short body, or a stout body? Think about what shape your animal you like that you might want to make. So I have my ball of both pieces of my clay put together. And before I start making an animal, I want to give you a couple ideas that you might want to use when you finish. I got a couple things around the house. I have a ruler, and really I just have this because it has a straight edge. I have a Lego because it makes a little point. I have this. I have a paper clip, and I have just a stick. You could use the pencil, the end of a pencil, or anything you have. So this right here can be used to make little curve marks. Can you see that? Little curve marks? I use this to make the curves, the little woolly sheep texture on this guy. Where did he go? Right here. Like that. You could use a stick to draw a shape. Maybe we want to give the back of our turtle a pattern like that. You could also use the straight edge to break your clay apart like that. Or you could use the point of a Lego corner to make pointy scales like on a lizard or on an alligator. What do you think about that? Okay. For our first animal, let's see if we can make a pig. So I would like to roll my clay so that it is a little bit longer. Instead of just a ball, we're going to make it a little more of an oval shaped. Okay, and then I want to do is I'm going to take off. I'm going to pinch, 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 and take off a little ball so that I have one piece that's a little bit small, this a bit much smaller than the other piece. And we're going to make this our pig body. Here's his body. I'm going to leave him right there. Then I'm going to take this and we're going to make legs and his snout, his nose, out of this piece right here. So I'm going to roll, 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 roll until it's about as wide, back and forth until it's about as wide as my hand. I know your hands are smaller. That works just fine. Then we're going to break that in half. And then we're going to roll them again. I'm going to take one piece off, 2 piece. I'm going to roll it again. I'm going to go 1 and 2. So what we have here is, this is going to be 4 legs. Oh, I have an extra piece. I'll just set that aside. legs like this. We're gonna roll them, roll them, roll them, make chunky little legs. Okay, one leg. And we're gonna go roll, 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 squish, roll, 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 squish. There we go. I'm gonna go roll, 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 squish. Roll, 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 squish. One more time. And you know, this guy's bigger. I think maybe I'll use that for his nose. Roll, 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 squish. Roll, 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 squish. So now I have round little legs. And I'm going to stick the legs on the bottom of my pig. Let's see if it's not squished enough. Squish. And this clay, if you notice, when you stick it on, it joins back up. It becomes friends again with the clay that you have, that you've touched it to, and it will stay. So we have 4 legs. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to gently tap it down so that they get flat, so that when he's finished, he'll stand up. All right. And then I'm going to look at him and decide, I think this is going to be his head. I'm going to make his head a little more narrow so it comes up a little bit. Give him a teeny bit of a neck. Not a huge neck, because pigs don't have big, long necks. Okay. And then we're going to give him a snout. This pig has a big, big snout. Okay. And I think we're going to give him some big eyes. And these eyes will stay on your animal. They don't need to be glued. If you put them on when the clay is not quite dry, it will stick in when it dries. So now I got my pig. He's got a snout. No, I think his snout was too short. I'm going to make his snout longer. How's that? Does that seem better to you? Does to me. And I'm going to give him, use a stick to make his nostrils. There's his nose. There's his pig nose. And I look at him. He's looking kind of funny. I'm like, how come he doesn't look like a pig? I know what he's missing. He's missing ears. So one of the ways you can do this is you don't have to attach ears. We could just squeeze them out. So you do a little pinch and another little pinch, and you pinch it, pinch, 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 pinch. And there's his eyes like that. And I think that his ears would be cute if one of them folded over. So he's got one floppy ear and one stand-up ear. What do you think? There's our guy. And I think he's missing a tail. So you have this wire like this. It's fuzzy. Should you give him a black tail or a green tail? Maybe I'll give this guy a green tail. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it around my finger. I'm going to leave part of it straight. I'm going to give my pig a fun little curly tail. And I'm going to take the wire. I'm going to stick him on. So then my pig has a curly little tail. And there you go. There is our Bagby Barracuda Model Magic pig. And then we're going to, when we're finished with him, we will leave him to dry. And after a couple days, he will be dry and hard, and he'll be your own little sculpture. Okay, let's try and make one more animal. Let's see if we can make another one of these, make another octopus. So I have one ball of clay, and how are we gonna get all 8 of these legs? We could build 8 legs and stick them all on, or here's another choice. We can make him a little bit longer, make this clay long like this. And I think in our mind, imagine you're going to use about half of the clay for his head and half of the clay for his body. So we're gonna pinch, 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 pinch. until it breaks apart. And then we're gonna make his head. I'm gonna roll his head, make it nice and round. Okay, I'm gonna leave that like that. And then I'm gonna squeeze it just a little bit because I think his head's a little longer, not just a perfect ball, right? Okay, and we're gonna sit it right there and it can wait for us. Now I'm gonna make this second piece a ball, and I'm going to squish it flat. And the more I squish it, the longer his legs will be, because we're gonna cut his legs out of this. I'm gonna squish, 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 squish. It doesn't have to be perfectly flat because we're gonna turn him into legs anyway. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put his body on in the middle. And later on we can connect this better. I'm gonna push the edges down a little bit. All right, I'm gonna squish it. And then I think I'm gonna squeeze his head a little bit taller so he's kind of got a waist for his middle. And then this guy he is going to need 8 legs. And here's the trick of how to make 8 legs. We can count to 4, right? We're gonna use our straight edge and we're gonna make 1, maybe turn, 2, give it a turn. I got 1 here, so we're gonna put the other leg on the other side, or other cut on the other side. 3 and 4. But octopuses don't have 4 legs. They have 8 legs. So each of the 4 legs, we're gonna find the middle. So we've got 2 sections here. Okay, we're gonna find and break this one in half. Then we're gonna find the next big section and break that one in half. We're gonna find the next big section and break this in half. And the next big section and break that in half. Now it kind of looks like a flower, huh? And then what we're going to do is make sure we have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then what you do is, they might stick together just a little bit. Just gonna, don't pull too hard. Instead, just separate the parts and squeeze and just pinch, 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 until they come out, until you get an arm. Then same thing again. Same thing again. Try and make them kind of the same length. We're gonna curve them so that way they don't have to be perfect, because if you do it like this, if they're straight out, it looks like a star or like a flower. And I don't know how often you see an octopus with his legs all straight out. Oh, if my son were here, he would tell you, he's a 4th grader in Mrs. Laug's class. If he were here, he would say, they're not legs. They're what? What are they called? Maybe you guys know. They're called tentacles. Okay. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Now, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now I've got my 8 legs, and I think his body should be a little taller, so I'm gonna just squeeze here so his body comes up a little taller. And then I think he likes to have curved legs. Maybe not all curved the same way. What do you think? Oop. When the clay touches it, it likes to stick. Got some legs there. So we made an octopus here. I'm going to do that. And then it definitely needs eyes right here. The other thing my son would tell me is that an octopus really has their mouth down here. But because he is my fun octopus, maybe he's a cartoon octopus, I want him to have a smiley face, because that makes him fun. But a big smile right there. Now, you pick him up and his legs move again. But if you set him like this on the wax paper and leave him to dry for a couple days, he will be hard and dry like this guy, and you will have an octopus that you made for yourself to keep.